greetings to you all once again. My name is Afari Ernest, and today we are going to look at promissory notes and bank discounts. Okay, under simple interest. In our previous lesson, we looked about how to calculate for the various types of simple interest and time. So today we are going to look at promissory note and bank discounts. So when we say promissory note, what do we mean by promissory note? Promissory note is just a note that a maker or a borrower just make in promise, do you get it, to a lender, so or payee. So let's say you borrow an amount from me. In that case, I'm saying you are to provide a promissory note, or you want to provide a promissory note. The thing is, um, always we have two parties involved. That is the payee and the maker. Okay, so the payee is the one who gave you the money, or the lender. Okay, the payee here is the lender, the one who is lending the money. Okay, then the maker here is the borrower. In other words, you can say what, debtor, then you can say creditor here. So always we have two people what in agreement, either a lender, borrower, payee, or a maker, creditor, and also what, a debtor, right? So if I give you items on credit, it means I'm the creditor, okay, and you are debtor because you are on my, you are part of those that are in debt to me, okay. Yes, so you are my debtor. Okay, so we are saying you just make a promissory note, and the one that is going to make the promissory note is called the maker, or that person is the borrower or the debtor. You are the one going to make the promissory note to the payee or the lender or the creditor. Okay, so don't forget, promissory note or and the bank discount is only made when items are sold on what, credits. Okay, don't forget that. But for the promissory note, we have two ways of, maybe if you want to take your items or your money back, you can choose to, one, take an interest, and two, you can choose to ignore. Okay, so for the interest, it means you just calculate the interest and put it in the promissory note. Then you send it to your payee or the lender. Do you get it? But if the agreement goes on and at the end you are my friend, I give you the money, and at the end I don't expect any, how do you call it, um, any interest on it, you just bring it, my money back or the items back to me. Okay. The more reason why we make promissory notice that in law we have something that we call the parole evidence. Okay, we have something we call parole evidence in law. So the parole evidence is, if we have an agreement, then it is only verbal. If one party breach the agreement, it means the court will just rule in favor of the one who even breached, because there is no written document to testify that, of course, there was what, an agreement. I hope you get it. So once you buy something from me on credit, I just have to make sure there is a written agreement as an evidence, so that once you breach it, I can just sue you. Do you get it? So one reason why we make a promissory note is that in case any party try to breach the agreement, that person can be sued. But if it only goes for verbal, then when you go to court, there is something we call parole evidence. That is what we mean here. So we are going to look at some of the terminologies under this promissory note. Some of the things you should just note. Okay, we have so many terms, but let's look at them before we pick an example. We have face value. We have face value. We have date. We have time, term. So the face value is talking about what, the principal. It's talking about the principal, the amount stated in the promissory note. Okay, so when you give me the promissory note, the principal, the amount or the monetary value of the item that you took, the amount there is what we call the face value. Okay, then the date is the day you took or the day I gave you the money or the items. Okay, we have term. The term is referred to as the time. Okay, the term is referred to as the time. How many period or how many days am I giving you to repay the loan? That is the term. Okay, then we have the payee. The payee is what? The creditor or the lender that I earlier said. The maker is the one making the note, or the borrower or the debtor. Then we also have what? Interest rates. You know interest rates. Then we have the maturity date, and you know the maturity date is the due date. This date is the invoice date. You can say the invoice date. The date or the date that you took or you borrowed the items. Okay, you borrowed the money or you took the items. That is the date. But then when we talk about the maturity date, in case of for exams purposes, just take note of the terminologies very well. For the maturity date, that is what? The due date. The last day of the period that you are supposed to pay the original amount plus what? Interest. That is what? The due date. Okay. Alright. Then I said the term is what? The time or the period you have to take to pay the loan. Okay. Alright. So we are saying yes, in situation whereby you see, sometimes people will just go and borrow something, then they will introduce or they will just introduce bank as part of the deal. Then they will just assure the bank that if I'm not able to pay this person this loan, if I'm not able to pay this person this certain amount, then it means the bank should take care of. Then if the bank take care of that, then it means the bank must also get something to be on to set as what the basis for what agreement. So maybe the bank will say that once I take care of this loan, it means I'm also going to take your car in return. Do you get it? So it is also part of what the agreement. So we are saying anytime there is a third party, and most of the time it is what? Bank. Anytime there is a third party in the agreement, you introduce the third party in the agreement that if I'm not able to pay this loan, this third party will pay. If that third party pays the loan, you also have to pay an interest to the third party. So in this case, you are going to pay an interest to the payee, and you pay an interest towards the how do we call it? The third party. I hope you get it, because I don't want to. I wouldn't engage myself in an agreement whereby I'm not going to earn anything, but then it's full of risk. Because anytime you risk yourself, you must get something in return. Okay, and so anytime the bank comes in, we say there is what? Discounting of notes or discount. Let me say discounting notes. The bank is discounting the notes. Okay, the bank is discounting the note. So if the bank is going to discount the note, it means when you calculate, this is how it will be. When you calculate the interest you pay to the payee and the interest you pay to the bank, let's say, okay, when we solve question, you understand it better. The interest you are paying to the payee and the interest you are paying to the bank, when you add it to the original amount, you see that the money that you are going to pay will be bigger than that of when the bank pays, because when the bank is paying, the bank will not add his interest to it, but then will pay the amount that you are supposed to pay, the principal plus just the interest. Do you get it? So at the end, the bank is going to earn something. The interest the bank is going to earn is what we call the proceeds from the bank. Okay, so when we tackle a question, I'm sure you are going to get all these terms very well. Okay, so we are saying some banks usually collect interest in advance called bank discount, which is computed on the maturity value of the note at a specified annual discount rate for the term T of the discount in years. So the term of the discount in time from the date of discount until the maturity date of the note. Okay, so if the time is given in days, of the banker's year of 360 days is what? use. So it means anytime the bank comes in, you have to use what? The ordinary simple interest. Or when you are calculating for the time, you have to use the approximate simple interest. Okay. So since we know the terminologies, let's look at the formulas. Then when we pick a question, you see that you are good with it and you are okay with it. So we are going to look at basically two formulas. Okay, the bank discounts. We are going to look at the bank discounts. So the bank discount is the maturity value, because anytime the bank is going to discount a note, the bank will discount it on the maturity value. The maturity value. And it is represented by S multiplied by, there will be a discount rate. There will be a discount rate in the question with respect to the bank, multiplied by terms. That is the time. So terms of discount. Okay. So the terms of discount is, let's say you took the loan today, which is March 17th, and you are supposed to pay the loan somewhere December 20th. Let's say in the course of the year, or in the course of you trying to pay the loan, when you get to July and you think you will not be able to pay for the loan, so in this case you are introducing the bank. The bank will start from that particular date, from July, so the ending. The bank will not start from the day that you took the loan. The bank will just start from the day that you started the agreement with. Okay, so that is the terms of the discount. The date that the bank came in, so the due date. I hope you get it. And that is what we are talking about. Okay, so the next one is proceeds. The proceeds for the bank. The proceeds for anyone that you introduce into the agreement is going to be the maturity value minus the bank discount. So the maturity value, which is S, minus the bank discount. So at that time, you have already been calculated the bank discount. So you just bring it here, bank discounts. It's very simple. When we start, this is S, this is D. When we start solving a question under it, you understand it more. Okay. So let's look at some questions and some examples to get our understanding for the promissory note. Compute the maturity value of an interest-bearing promissory note if the face value of the note is 2,000, interest is 10% exact per year, and the loan period is 60 days. So in this case, how do you calculate for the simple interest? You know that simple interest is what? Principal times rate times time. And so the face value, which is the principal, was given us 2,000, and the rate was 10%, and the time was 60 days, and they are saying exact, so 365 days. I hope you get it. Then in this case, you are going to get 32.88. This one, you understand it. That is what I'm trying. I just want us to freshen up. Okay. Then for the maturity value, it is this principal plus the interest. So when we say the maturity value we were talking about here is principal here plus the interest, which is 32.88. And in this case, you have 2,000 and 32.88 Ghana cedis. So this is your MV. Okay. This is your MV. This is your MV. Okay, so it means you know how to calculate for the maturity value. This discount rate will be given, terms of discount will be given. So all that you need to do is the time that the bank or they introduce the third party, you start from that date till the due date, and that will be the terms of the discount. Then you just multiply the three to get the bank discount. Then after getting the bank discount, what do? You calculate for the proceeds. That one, you already have the maturity value, and you subtract the bank discount from it, and you are done. Okay, so that is what we are going to do over here. Okay, So we have the steps in calculating for the promissory note, and we are going to look at the steps. Okay, we are going to look at the steps. We are saying it is, I hope you can see the steps to discount a promissory note on your screens. So one is saying we should compute the interest amount and the maturity value of the promissory note. So first of all, you just calculate for the simple interest and the maturity value. You calculate for the simple interest and you add your principal to it to get what the maturity value. Okay, then the second step is you determine the maturity due date or the maturity date of the note. You know the maturity date, right? The maturity date is the day of the invoice or the day that the person submitted the promissory note, or the day that you how should I say, the day that you gave the items to the person or you borrowed the person the money. That is the day till the end of the period. That is the due date. Okay, and you know how to calculate for what due date. So if the person takes the money from, let's say, 17th of March, 17th of March to, let's say, December 22nd. So you have to calculate for the due date from here to here. No, this one, I think this one, you are just going to calculate for time. So for the due date, let's say the person took the money on 17th March, sorry, 17th March, and the person is supposed to pay it in 120 days time. So when you are calculating for the due date, that is when you'll be adding the 120 days to day 17th March, so that the day that will end, or the last day of this will become what the due date. Okay, we will solve a question under it. Then it says compute the number of days in the discount period. So the number of days in the discount period, that is when the third party comes in. So the time is the number of days in the discount period divided by 360 or 365. Okay, or in leap year, if the question specify, then you take 366. Okay, then the fourth one, you just compute what the discount amount. So for the discount amount, I wrote the formula on the board. That is what we will do. Your maturity value times your rate, your discount rate times the terms. Okay. Then finally, you compute the proceeds, which is what the maturity value minus the bank discount. Okay. So let's take a question and we look at how to solve it. So we have a question on our screens. We have we have I and II. So let's tackle the I first. It says on August 19th. So we write our starting date. So August, let me bring it here. August 19th. KPH company borrows 75,000 from Mamaga Kekeli Investment Company, right? So KPH borrowed from what? Mamaga Investment Company. In return, KPH gives the company a 120-day promissory note, right? So the KPH company, they borrowed how much? So we say the face value or the principal. The principal is what? 75,000. Okay, so the principal is 75,000. Let's write the parameters. So KPH gives the company 120-day promissory notes, right, at an ordinary simple interest. Okay, so 128 days as the time, okay, for the simple interest. Promissory note at an ordinary simple interest. So they said what? Ordinary 120 days ordinary simple interest. Don't forget how we calculate for simple interest. Simple interest. Okay. So when you are calculating for simple interest and you are giving 100 and ordinary simple interest and you are giving 120 days, you know when you get to the time you have to divide it by 360. Okay. So compute the due date and the maturity value of the promissory note. So here we are going to calculate for the due date. Then we will calculate for the what? what? The maturity value. Okay. So the first part of the question, we are supposed to calculate for the due date. Okay. So we are starting from August what? 19th. August 19th. We have 120 days. So we are going to add up the 120 days. So wherever we get to. Okay. So for the 120 days, we have 19. Sorry, 19. How many days left to get 30? 11 plus August. September will be 30. October will be 30. November will be 30. So we have 90, 101. We are left with 19. So the 19 will come to December. Okay. Okay. So December. So it means the due date. It means the due date for this will be what? 19th December. It will be 19th December. Don't forget, when I was reading, I initially said whenever you are calculating for the due date, you just go by the approximate time, okay, because you assume each month has what? 30 days. And basically everything that we are going to do here, we are going to use what? Ordinary or approximate time, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, yes, that is what we are going to, unless specified. Okay, so that is what we are going to do over here. Then we are done with the due date. Now we know the due date is 19th December. Now the question said, the question asks us to also calculate for the maturity value. The maturity value. So for the maturity value, it is equal to our principal plus interest. Okay. So we don't know, we have the principal, we don't know the interest. So our interest is equal to the principal times rate times time. So here we have the principal to be what? 75,000. The rate to be when the rate given, simple interest rate of 8%. So we're giving 8%. And don't forget the time. They said ordinary simple interest. And don't even forget that I said it is going to be 30-30 if it is simple interest. If it is not specified, just use ordinary simple interest. But unless specified, okay, yes. Then, so for the days given, we were given 120 days over 360. Okay. Then our interest is going to be what? We are going to get an interest of 2,000 Ghana cedis. Our interest is 2,000 Ghana cedis. Since we have the interest, we can calculate for the maturity value, right? So we say maturity value is equal to our principal 75,000 plus our interest 2,000. So here we have what? 77,000 for the maturity value. Okay. So now since we know the maturity value, let's go back to the question and tackle the second part of the question. It says Mamaga Kekeli Investment Company could not wait for the note to mature and decided to transfer the note to Lakayana Financial Services because now she has realized, or that institution or the investment company, they have realized that the money that they borrowed, they cannot just pay the money on the due date. So it will be better when they transfer the note to someone or some other third party. So now they are transferring the note to another, that is Lakayana Financial Services. And don't forget, since they are the third party that are going to bear the note now, they have to get some proceeds at the end. Do you get it? Yeah, they will pay the amount on behalf of Mamaga Kekel Investment, but then they also have to enjoy some investment benefits. So Lakayana Financial Services on October 5th. So it means they took over the loan or the note on October what? 5th. So Lakayana, they took the loan from October what? 5th. Okay, so it means when they are calculating for their terms, they are not going to start from August 19th, but they will start from October 5th to the due date, because initially the one who was involved in the party in the agreement was supposed to um, pay the loan, or the due date for the person was 19th December. That is from August 19th to 19th December. But then because the person or that party could not pay for the loan, they just transferred the note to Lakayana. And these people will just take over from October 5th to the due date. Okay, bear that one in mind. At a discount of 12%. So discount of 12%. So you see, at a discount of 12%, it means the money or everything that they were supposed to pay to the payee, when you are sending the note to a third party, you just have to reduce the amount. Suppose you take this marker from me for 10 Ghana cedis, and I'm saying you are to pay the loan or the price for this marker, let's say next week. Then you think in 3 days time you cannot afford to pay, so you are transferring the note. When you transfer the note to the person, you are not going to give the person 10 Ghana cedis. You just have to give the person discount. I hope you get it. You just have to give the person discount, that maybe the person should just bear the note but should pay for, how should I say it, 6 Ghana cedis. At that time you have already paid for 4 Ghana cedis, so the person will just pay for the rest. So you see that the person has received what, a discount of 4 Ghana cedis on this price. Okay, so that is the discount rate which is there. I hope you get it. So determine the discount amount and the proceeds due to Mamaga investment. So we are going to calculate for the discount amount and the proceeds. Okay, so how do we calculate for the discount amount? The discount amount here is equal to the maturity value that we already have it here, multiplied by our discount rate. So our discount rate multiplied by our terms, that is the number of days. Okay, that is the number of days. So how are we going to do it? Let's first find out the parameters. We have the MV, we have the maturity value. Do we have the discount rate? It was given as 12%, which is there. Now all that we need here is the terms of discounts, that is the number of days. So the number of days from October 5th to December 19th, that is what we are going to calculate here. So from October 5th, we are to use where was this specified? Okay, so let's use the 30 days. Okay, so let's use the 30 days. So from October 5th, we are saying October has, we are assuming each month has what, 30 days. So October is what, 30 minus 5, right? So we are left with 25 more days to go in October, right? Then November is what, 30 days, and the December itself is what, 19 days. Here we are calculating for the terms. Okay, so we want the time. We are, we have already looked at how to calculate for time, exact time and ordinary, approximate. And I said here everything that we are going to deal with is 30 30 30 30. So if you are dealing with time, approximate time. If you are dealing with simple interest, ordinary simple interest, unless specified. Okay, so here you have 25 plus 30, which is 55, 65, 74. So you have 74 days here. So it means the bank or the other third party, they are going to take, charge of the note in just what, 74 days. Okay, so now since we have the 74 days, we can calculate for our bank discounts. So since we are done with this place, let me clean this place. So for our bank discounts, it is the maturity value, which is 77,000, right? Multiplied by the discount rate. If you know the formula, you are good to go. And the formula is here. So you make sure you put it in mind. That is 12%, 0.12 times. Now the days, we had 74 days, right? So it is going to be 74 over 360 days, because we are dealing with 30 days in a month. So we are going to get 360 days. So when we do this, we are going to get 1,899.33 1,899.33 Ghana cedis, okay, as our maturity, sorry, the bank discounts, okay. Now the question also said maturity value, determine the discount amount, and now we are done. And they are saying, and the proceeds, so for proceeds, you know, it is what? The proceeds is equal to your bank discount. So it means the bank or the third party is going to enjoy this discount, okay, minus your maturity value. No, bank discount minus, is it it's rather maturity value minus bank discount. That's the formula, right? Let me check the formula for proceeds again. Proceeds, that is, yes, maturity value minus the bank discount. So we have, that is the maturity value, MV, minus the bank discount, okay. So now we have the maturity value to be 77,000 minus the bank discount, which is 1,899.33. So when we subtract this, then we are going to get a proceed 75,100, 75,100.67. So this is the proceeds to Mamaga company. Then Lakayana will pay to Mamaga company. Yeah, Lakayana will just pay this amount, 75,100.67, to Mamaga company. Is it investment or something? So the third party will pay this proceed to Mamaga, because earlier, who was KPH, the company KPH, they have already taken care of the rest. So in this case, it means what will be the amount that Lakayana, because don't forget, I said, if you engage in any risk, you have to earn something. Do you get it? So Lakayana, they engage in this deal, and they also have to earn something. And so what they are going to earn is what? The maturity value, which is already there for the first party KPH to pay, and the proceeds they paid to Mamaga. Do you get it? Because they paid this amount to Mamaga. Meanwhile, the original amount here is what? 77,000. Do you get it? Because they have received a discount. So what is the discount that they received? Okay, that is what we are talking about. And the discount that they received is the bank discount. So it means the Lakayana company, Lakayana, they will earn 1,899.33. Is that good? So the bank discount is the amount that the third party will enjoy or earn, okay? And the proceeds is the amount that the third party will pay to the payee, okay? Yes. So I think it's not really difficult. It's not something really difficult. First of all, you have to know how to calculate for your interest and your amounts, okay? Then if you are able to do that, the next thing you have to do is what? Very simple. You have to calculate for your maturity value. When you get to the maturity value, probably you are going to use the maturity value to calculate for what? Bank discount here. So after getting the bank discount, then what do? You subtract the bank discount from the maturity value, and that is the proceeds you are to pay to the payee. Okay, then you enjoy the bank discount. Okay, so on this note, we are done with what? Simple interest. Okay, and promissory note and bank discount. So in our next lesson, we are going to look at compound interest. My name is Afari Ernest, and thank you for joining Grade Tutor once again. Kindly subscribe, share, like, and make sure we all grow together. Your friends also benefit from these tutorials. Thank you very much, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.